Some of the reasons that online education is really valuable is it allows students different entry points, and there are different challenges different people are working with in order to complete their education. Some of them are opportunities like study abroad, and we want to make sure that when they're studying abroad they're doing making productive progress towards their degree destination. The other one is professional students, that we have a number of programs on campus that allow folks who are already working in the field to progress within their profession. For example, going from a LPN to an RN through this, or going from an RN program to a bachelor's as a registered nurse, which is allows promotion and different opportunities within the hospital setting.
One of the things I like best about teaching online is our ability to access students that are maybe non-traditional students. My class is focused on experienced healthcare professionals, nurses who have been nurses for quite some time and have a desire to earn a bachelor's in nursing or a more advanced degree. And they're in a situation where they need to continue working while they earn this degree, and thus a traditional on-campus 4-year program really isn't going to work for them. So I'm happy that we can access them and help them learn about chemistry and how chemistry relates to nursing while they're going about their everyday lives and hopefully progressing towards bettering their situation.
I like teaching online because mostly it's flexible for the students. So I know that a lot of students that maybe have a family, they're away on an internship. We have a lot of students that have a full-time job. I like being able to help meet their schedule. That way they're not trying to come to campus when it's maybe not terribly convenient for them and they might feel rushed, they might feel pressured. I also like that if they don't understand something, the way I set my courses up there, it's a lot of videos and things to read so they can refer back to it. It's not like you take notes in a live class and that's the only time you ever hear that. If they don't understand something, I teach a lot of technical software skills as well. They can watch that video several times until they get it right. And I like that because when I used to do that live in a face-to-face course, you could always look around the room and see that some people were getting lost, but they didn't want to raise their hand and stop everybody else. So now, if they have it, on their laptop, in their room, they can watch that video 100 times if they want, if that's what it takes for them to understand. And I think that's a very big advantage of teaching online. Also, I just personally like it because it's a whole new way to interact with the students. A lot of students who maybe would never speak up in class will find that that's where they find their voice. Maybe we're doing a discussion board, they have to write a reflection paper, and I'll think, I would have never heard this much insightful information from the student because they might just be an introvert, but they're a perfectly awesome student. And so then I get to learn so much more about them, and I know that what I'm putting down, they're picking up, and I might not have gotten that if we were in a face-to-face class.
Another issue is how students manage their time. Do they make specific times available for themselves to focus solely on that online project or that online class? Another reason why I like teaching online is because it gives students the opportunity to learn how to manage information. For example, how do they handle projects when everything is done online? How do they manage data? How do they manage their relationships with other people? So taking an online class is excellent practice for them to become effective organizational members in the future.
Online learning is a great opportunity for departments to engage in and programs to engage in. I found in our department that it has allowed our faculty to enhance their teaching by trying new strategies through the online system, but it also gives them some flexibility with their scheduling. We've been able to front load or back load somebody's schedule in order to give them more research time at different points in the semester. It's allowed faculty some flexibility in the summer to be able to perhaps go on vacation and yet still be responsible to their online course. So for faculty, it's great. The other part of it is that it forces faculty to be really intentional about their planning And because an online course is prepared in advance and then sort of more of a management experience when students are in the course, it really allows faculty to be intentional about their objectives and their outcomes and the assessment strategies that they're going to utilize, and the different ways they want students interacting. And so I think that that will then translate into different strategies people use in their face-to-face courses as well.
In the contemporary work environment, so much is done electronically. And I like teaching online because it gives students the opportunity to practice those skills that they will need to be effective in the workplace. For example, how do they manage relationships when it's done completely online? How do they phrase their email? How do they word themselves?
Well, I didn't get into online teaching really because I had a great desire to do it. I got into it essentially because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. And you know, I'm a child of the 20th century, and I grew up with chalkboards and chalk and standing in front of a room talking to people. And I just wanted to be a part of this new, you know, mode of delivery for pedagogy and to see what it's about. And the other thing I liked about it, teaching online, is that I knew when I taught my online classes that I was going to be a department chairperson. And I thought it was important for me as a leader of a department to know something about this you know, burgeoning delivery mode for teaching in order to help guide departmental policy about online classes and whatnot. So those are the things that got me, I guess I won't say excited about teaching online, but began to propel me in that direction.
One of the things that I liked about teaching online, and this was my first online class, was that in some respects, even though I didn't have the students face-to-face, I feel like in the short amount of time that I had them in the 5-week class, I got to know them fairly well through the outside assignments that I gave them. So through their writing projects and through also their outside projects that they had to do. I feel like I got to know them better than I thought that I would.
One value I find is that by going online, I increase the level of diversity of my classroom. Of course, there's no room, but my audience tends to be more diverse than the one I can bring to campus. And I teach in an area of design where peer interaction is very important. And therefore, the more diverse my group, the more richness there is in our discussions. So I find that teaching online is very rewarding in that regard.